What's up, you guys? Welcome into another edition. Yes, I know you see three of us up here, and it's for a reason because tonight we have none other than Dan Mitchell joining us from the Bills Mafia. Dan, good evening. Thank you for being here. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Like I was telling you guys backstage, I'm used to the Buffalo Bills starting off with a good cupcake opponent on week one. It's
Yes.
nice because we're able to knock the rust off a little bit. But no, right? Like we're welcoming the Baltimore Ravens back into Buffalo, fresh off of what the media is calling a revenge game. So I know that between Bills fans and Ravens fans, I'm sure that we both would agree we much would have preferred a different matchup, but here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's going to be a wild one. It's going to be fun. I don't know if I can say it's a revenge game, but I don't know. Hendo, how are you tonight?
I'm well. I can't wait for Sunday for this non-revenge game because I'm sorry, once we
Win.
go out there and beat the Bills, we're not advancing to the AFC Championship. So it's all for naught. But for me, it's for seeding purposes. We
Yeah.
have to have that tiebreaker because I was looking at the Buffalo Bills schedule. You guys have a cupcake schedule.
Oh, we do.
Cupcake,
Oh,
you
we
play
do.
us. We're your
Yeah.
toughest game in the first 7 weeks. You have the AFC East, the New Orleans Saints, the Atlanta Falcons by week 7. Then you play Carolina off the bye. Then you get the Chiefs. And then I
Yeah.
think in week
Mm.
17, you have the Eagles. So outside of the Eagles, and the Chiefs, you
Yeah.
really don't have a lot of competition. So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. Like I've been telling a lot of people that I think that this Bills schedule positions us in a great way, especially due to that long line of below average teams. Like once we're finished with you guys, we have the Jets and then we have the Miami Dolphins, which I'm pretty sure haven't beaten us in 7+ years. It seems like that. But we're just lucky enough that the vast majority of the front offices in the AFC East are ran by an incompetent front office, and they just cannot stay competitive with us whatsoever. So I'm optimistic with the playoff chances. I've been telling people, I'm like, look, when it comes in the Ravens or the Bengals, etc., do remember they are playing the NFC North, their own division, and we have the cupcake AFC East, and we're playing the NFC South. So
mhm.
um, I do want this game for bragging rights, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dan, you're just not going to get it. Like, I'm going to keep it real, but
Yeah,
spoiler alert, this one's not going to you. But with that said, I do think it's going to be an awesome matchup. So let's get started because I want to be respectful of your time, Dan, and football is on. So we need to get out of here pretty soon. Let's
yeah.
begin with our offense going up
Okay.
against your defense. What is your
hmm
answer for Lamar Jackson?
hmm So, I did see your final injury report get finalized just a couple of hours ago, and losing out on Patrick Ricard and Isaiah Likely has completely shifted over my prediction of this game. Once Ricard and Likely say that they were going to be out there, then probably would have leaned toward the Ravens and leaned toward okay, like these guys are going to start off run heavy, etc. But what I've seen, like with Baltimore loves running out of 12-man personnel. They are by and large the most efficient rushing attack in the NFL when they are able to run through that formation. Now, it's still left to be seen. Will Baltimore end up rolling through with Kohler, perhaps? Like, maybe they want to put him in as tight end too. Maybe they'll throw somebody else at what was Ricard's position as well. But based off of what I know, and granted, I'm just a fan, just observing here, I am assuming that Baltimore is more than likely going to be running out of predominantly 11-man personnel from there, which is something that I wouldn't say is their bread and butter. It's not something that I think they want to be running out of, but based off of lack of personnel to execute, I think that's what they're going to need to do in order to sort of get the ball moving. Like
Mhm.
when you end up comparing, so the week 3 matchup last year and then into the playoffs, we ran an alarming amount of man coverage during the playoffs in a 5-man rush. And for the most part, for at least that first half, it was wildly effective. Now that we take away all of those question marks of, hey, like we're going to be having Ricard out there as that extra blocker, we're going to be missing out on Likely. I have a feeling that Buffalo can really hone in and even be able to get away with having a Madden generated player as our CB2 out there this evening. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm curious to see what Monken wants to do on Sunday night. but I don't particularly think it would be a good idea for the Ravens to attempt to run out of 12-man personnel without those two key pieces.
Wait, okay. So, and Hendo, like, what's your response to that? Like, are we a completely different team without Isaiah Likely and your guy, Pat Ricard?
Being at this week one, it's pretty hard to say, only because we haven't seen the full offensive line together yet, and we know that Ricard was put in there to mask some of our deficiencies. Likely, to me, is going to be the biggest deficit that we have, because last season in the playoffs, he had 4 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Mark Andrews, it's the regular season, so I expect him to play a lot better because that's what he does during the regular season. But Charlie Kolar, I think his blocking has gotten a lot better. Now, they may bring up Lucas Scott from the practice squad. Really don't have much information on him. But I just think that with Lamar Jackson back there and the threat of him running, I don't care what personnel we run out of. We're going to be able to run. Now, I know there was this gentleman out there in the Twitterverse and in YouTube land who said that Derrick Henry wasn't going to get 70 yards, and he was not going to be a factor in this game. We shall see. And I understand.
Yeah.
I understand against Sean McDermott defenses,
Yeah.
Derrick Henry hasn't done always well. But the two games that he has played with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, he's fared nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look, I mean, I have all the respect in the world for Derrick Henry, right? Like, I hate NFL Network for continuously showing me that clip of him stiff-arming, like, Norman a couple of years ago, right into a new dimension. That certainly gets annoying from time to time. But, like, what Buffalo is typically good at is that, like, you'll notice, at least toward the first beginning of the games, like, you'll notice an opposing offense just march down the field and score with ease. Sean McDermott, and whether or not that I want to agree with this, and it frustrates the hell out of me, he's the kind of defensive-minded head coach that likes to see, like, what these offenses are doing. Like, he likes for offenses to show them his pitches, and he ends up making crazy adjustments going into the second half. That's why I was kind of on that 70, because what I'm basing my analysis off of is more so of the matchup during the playoffs, because those players that we were missing on week 3 was Rapp, Matt Milano, Terrell Bernard, and then I think it was Benford, perhaps. All 4 of them were back, and that's kind of what I'm basing it off of, and I'm hoping and manifesting that Sean McDermott, number one, can get it going started sooner, but if right at the very least, I do trust him into being able to make some adjustments in that run game.
Okay, I mean, that's hopeful. That's hopeful. Wishful thinking. And for most games, I would agree with you with Sean McDermott. But if we look at the playoff game, second half is when Derrick Henry got rolling, when they couldn't stop him. The only reason that he didn't get more yardage is because we stopped running him. So it's going to be a good game, especially with everything that's going on. I really like your rookie. Is Max Harrison out? He's on a reserve injured list, right?
Yeah, he is. He's opening up the season on the IR. He's going to be out for about 4 weeks. He had like a MCL sprain, unfortunately. And then Trey White, he's doubtful. And right in the history of the league, I'm pretty sure only 2 guys ever that were listed as doubtful played. So you're going to be seeing a 6th-round cornerback starting. His name is Dorian Strong. I'm not sure if you guys are college football people, but he came from Virginia Tech. It's kind of a question mark for us. It certainly is. Especially when I look at the wide receivers, because as far as weapons for Lamar right in the passing game, so I think if you guys do go over to just one tight end formations, I do trust Matt Milano in being able to cover him in coverage. I also end up trusting Christian Benford versus Bateman, or whether or not that Bateman ends up lining up against the 6th. But say that Bateman lines up against like our rookie 6th-rounder, he's obviously going to eat all night. So it's really kind of like it's really sort of a pick your own poison and let Lamar beat us in one particular way. Say that makes sense, and try and bottle up as much as we possibly can.
But here's the thing, though. Lamar can beat you in multiple ways.
He can.
So to say, well, just force him to beat you, to make him one-dimensional, you can't. I mean, that's you just can't do that. So with that said, I mean, personally, for me, and let us know for those who are joining in the chat, we see you. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, I know football is on. We're not going to be here long, but we just had, Dan Mitchell in the house, so we had to come online, right? We just had to. But I want to know from those of you who are in the chat, if you're just now joining, Dan said, like, hey, it's going to be a difference for how the Buffalo Bills react and respond to the Ravens without Isaiah Likely and Pat Ricard. Do either of those players like really move the needle for us? I'm going to say yes to Isaiah Likely because he is a very valuable piece of this offense. Pat Ricard, in terms of us needing an additional offensive lineman, i.e. someone to help block, sure, it's going to be, it could be noticeable that he's not there. But in terms of us firing the weapon, in terms of us being able to put points on the board, Pat Ricard, I mean, thank you for your service. But without him, I really think that we're still just, I want to know from you guys, and I see you. Thank you all so much. Salute to all of you who are out there. We're talking right now about the Ravens offense, Bills defense. What is their answer? So now my next question is, what is your answer for?
I'm sorry. I have to respond to him when he said Benford bottling up Bateman. Cool, it's a possibility. But there are two factors that we didn't take into account. One is Zay Flowers didn't play last year in the playoff game.
True.
But more importantly, by me actually having to go watch that video several times over the last 2 days, everybody forgot that Nelson Aguilar didn't really play in this game.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go through it, Nelson.
I forgot that he was even on the team.
Me too. I forgot about Nelly. He's still with us? He's still with us?
No, he's not.
I know. I'm teasing. Yeah.
Right. But more importantly, now we have DeAndre Hopkins taking his place.
Yeah.
So, yes, you may be able to slow Bateman down, but now we have two other components that weren't there last year. So that may think that gives Lamar a bit more weaponry for him to operate with. And also, this is his third year in Todd Monken's system. If he can improve on what he's done last season, or even if this offensive line can improve, watch out. Now, the only thing that I can say is we don't really do training. We don't really do preseason. He doesn't really like to play as starters. So this is like our first preseason game. So we may have a slow start. I think that possibly can be the only thing that slows us down. But I do give Buffalo defense a lot of credit because last year they were a smallish type defense, but they gave it to us. Pause. So
to be honest with you, man, like I'm looking at the Ravens and they were the second best team in the NFL for third down conversions. And Buffalo was 27th in the league for stopping third down conversions. It was wildly frustrating. And like when you end up looking at the final numbers, like you would see Buffalo being like top 5, top 6, top 7 in a lot of metrics. But it was all masked by our propensity of being able to take the football away. I don't trust that. I hate that was our identity last year because largely turnovers are just being in the right place at the right time, right? This offseason, and so I will give the front office their credit because they at least on paper addressed that and recognized it. But us actually executing is going to be a different story because like the Ravens, like we didn't see any starters out there during the preseason.
Right.
Half of us were in body bags. So our wide receiver one, Shakir, he's coming off of a high ankle sprain. He was a full participant all week, but will he be 100%? Like he's going up against Humphrey. So it's going to be a lot of let's see what these offseason moves did. And did we really even end up making an improvement? Because like I genuinely believe that Buffalo doesn't need to go from being the 27th best third down defense. Like we just need to get up to like average, man, like 14th ranked in the NFL. And I think that gets it done for us. I've been telling my people, I said, this is a lot easier said than done, obviously. But if Buffalo can somehow, some way, all right, force Baltimore to punt 4 times, I have Buffalo in this game. Like, will we do it? I don't know, but I think
my question is how? What players do you have to achieve that? To force the Ravens to punt 4 times?
Yeah.
Name your players. Name them. Who can do this?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard are probably some of the best linebackers in the league as far as being super diverse in coverage and in run capabilities. I'm nervous about our second-round safety, Cole Bishop. I certainly am. He's awful in coverage. But one thing I will give him is that he's that type of downhill safety that's actually a very quality tackler. Sometimes he pursues a bit too hard for me and like he makes some boneheaded mistakes. But the way that the Ravens typically like to run their offense, I would almost rather prefer having two strong safeties out there running downhill, attempting to make tackles. Like we missed so many tackles last year, and so it made me want to rip my hair out. So like right now, Yolanda, I think it's just manifestation. And so I'm hoping.
Okay, so this is not rooted in any type of factual evidence. This is just, hey, I really want to will my team to a victory. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. And like when it comes into Taron Johnson too, like he's a slept on slot corner. Like he's like one of the better ones when it comes into like EPA, but like he has a test with Zay Flowers. Like that's definitely going to be a matchup for me that I'm interested in looking at. And with Christian Benford, like he was like second in the league last year for preventing separation, only to Patrick Surtain the second. So I love those guys. The thing is, can we cause pressure and not get home, right? Because Lamar is very difficult to bring down. But what I would like to do is disrupt the play. I would like, so Lamar not being able to have enough time to like call somebody and then complete a pass out. At least disrupt something and get it going. Give me a couple of turnovers and put the ball right in Josh Allen's hands.
You said the word. For me, is turnovers. And I talked about it in a previous video this week. Like, we cannot go out there against the Buffalo Bills or any team for that matter and commit turnovers, right?
Yeah.
Penalties and turnovers have been just our Achilles heel. We shoot ourselves in the foot. We don't even give ourselves a chance when we are off to the races. Penalty, fumble, drop pass, penalty, fumble, drop, and we repeat the same cycle. So for us, my key to this game is securing the ball, obviously, limiting your penalties. I'm not going to say like eliminating them altogether because, okay, this is the Ravens. Let me be real. Limiting your penalties and playing your brand of football. Like, there's no reason that the Ravens cannot go in here and, like Black Ice said, and not come out with a Jackson 5. Like, there's just no way. I don't see it. But another one, what's your, you mentioned Zay Flowers. Who's going to who's matching up against him, and who can be successful? Well, let me rephrase my question. Okay, let me rephrase it because words are everything. Who can be successful? In covering Zay Flowers?
Yeah. So I feel comfortable with that, surprisingly enough, with Taron Johnson. So the one wide receiver that scares me for this game, at least based off of matchups, is more so Bateman than Flowers. Because where Zay typically lines up right outside of the slot. And so you have a slot corner who's very good. And again, our linebackers are very good in coverage as well. So I think that we would be able to at least bracket him out. But him being out on the field, it's not scaring me due to his ability, but it's scaring me to what kind of distraction he's going to be for us. Because say, for example, that we're trying to take Zay Flowers out of the game entirely, that's going to leave somebody like Hopkins wide open. That's going to leave somebody like Bateman wide open. And there's holes once you end up getting into that next level of the defense. Whether or not it's Dorian Strong, the 6th round rookie, first he was a 3rd string 2 days ago. Whether or not that's Christian Benford, who had a groin injury. He's good to go, quote unquote, but how good is that? But surprisingly enough, as far as the receiving game, I wouldn't be surprised if Zay Flowers probably has the least amount of receiving yards. And that's not even so much that they're not like targeting him, but there's going to be so many opportunities for Bateman and Hopkins, and that will be open.
You all keep receipts. I want you all to mark this, book it. Keep this receipt because in just 2 nights from tonight, we are going to be able to go find Dan Mitchell in the social internet streets.
Man.
His links to his channel are in my description. Make sure you give him a like. Go ahead and subscribe to Dan Mitchell's channel, even though, he's for the other team, but that's all right. He still puts out good content for his team.
After week 2, I promise you guys will like me again until week 2. I promise.
Yeah. Okay. But book this, mark this, because we want to be able to come back to Dan and ask him, Dan, do you recall, right? When you said,
Rochelle?
Oh yeah, you know how we're going to do it. Do you recall when you said that Zay Flowers was, and then we just bring back up, this is what you said. But Hendo, do you agree that Zay Flowers is going to be kind of like the least utilized weapon in game 1?
It's hard to answer that question because that's not what he said.
That's what I interpreted him saying.
What he
Okay,
said.
that's
What he said was he may have the least amount because everybody else is eating. That's what he pretty much said.
I know.
Yeah.
I do think that they will be able to spread the ball around, and that's the one thing that's the most dangerous about this iteration of the Baltimore Ravens is that now we don't have to fixate on just Mark Andrews. We have so many other guys that can contribute to the team, but this is the Mark Andrews revenge tour, from what I'm being told, and he has to atone for past sins. So you might have to watch out for regular season Andrews because he's a totally different beast. So there's that.
So I think it could be similar to last night, and like most fantasy football owners were so livid that AJ Brown got one target like last night, right? So I could see a world like that as well, where like they think that we're prepping for Zay Flowers, but instead it's Bateman that goes off for over 100.
Yeah,
like that's kind of the sense I'm getting from this game.
Understood. Okay, we do have a super chat coming through, so I want to give a shout out to James Green for the $1 super chat. We appreciate you, James. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. We do have a question coming in for Dan, and if you have questions for Dan that you'd like him to answer, go ahead. Now is your time. You got him right here. Go ahead and ask your question. A couple more minutes because we're going to talk about the next matchup was our defense versus their offense. But Dan Osmond wants to know, how much will the Bills miss Tre'Davious White?
So I'll tell you what, I love Tre'Davious White. I do. Like, he did a lot for the Buffalo Bills when we drafted him. Last year started off very bad over in LA, but his tape was actually encouraging in Baltimore toward the back half of the season. He was much better. Like, losing out on Max Harrison was the real question for me. So once Harrison was gone, like, we all but kind of accepted the fact that we were seeing a significant drop off from what could have been. So in my eyes, and no disrespect to Trey at all, but there's really not as big of a drop off between Trey and whoever we start at CB2 than Max Harrison and Trey. Like, we knew going into this game, regardless, the second that Max Harrison went down with an injury, that was going to be an issue for us. So I'm just kind of hoping. So McDermott is very, very good at developing secondary players. I just hope that he could expedite that stuff for Dorian Strong on Sunday night. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's now talk about the Ravens defense going up against Josh Allen and this offense for the Bills. We'll start with you, Dan. Tell us, what matchup are you most looking forward to, and how do you think it's going to play out?
Yeah, most definitely. So, very solid defense. However, there are a couple of ways I foresee Buffalo attempting to attack you guys. Y'all were like the number 2, number 3 run defense in the NFL last year. So as far as bottling up running backs, attempting to pound the A and the B gaps, where you guys struggled was running backs in the receiving game. So I probably see, at least at the very beginning, we might try to force the run to see if there's some experiences for us to be able to take advantage of. But I do see a lot of passes to running backs. I see a lot of passes to our tight end, Dalton Kincaid, who had a significant chemistry issue with Josh last year for some reason. And I also want to be able to pick on that one linebacker that was benched from you guys last year at one point. I think that's more than likely what Josh Allen's going to be doing. He's that kind of guy. I do think Josh is going to be targeting Jair Alexander. And so I know that he is a full participant. He's ready to go. But I do think that's likely in the DNA of Joe Brady. He's going to test Jair Alexander and make him prove that he's fully healthy and he's fully ready to go. Really like Joshua Palmer against Nate Wiggins. I really think that could be a good opportunity. Yeah. I don't like Shakir against Humphreys, though, because Shakir is coming off of a high ankle sprain, and I don't really see us feeding him the ball too often because, number one, we don't want him to re-aggravate it and be gone longer, and Humphreys is your best DB as well. But then Keon Coleman and Jair, what Jair are we seeing, right? So are we seeing the Jair from 3 years ago when he played a full season? Okay, then that's going to be risky. But I'm interested to see what that's all about. And then last but not least, I also want to see Josh target Malachi Starks, especially since Starks said that he wants to.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm a big Georgia Bulldogs fan, so I'm a big Starks guy too. But he's still a rookie, and so I have a funny feeling that I think that we're probably going to try and pick on him at least a little bit.
Dan, we're going to have to rethink you coming back to the show. You are a Georgia fan. I'm a Gators fan. You're a Bills fan. I'm a Ravens fan. We got this all wrong. But yeah, Hendo and I, we root for the Gators around here. That's
No,
what
we don't.
do.
Nobody roots for the Gators.
I do. Anyway, Hendo, what are your thoughts about some of these matchups that Dan just told us that he's looking forward to? And who do you think is going to get the better of them?
I mean, I hope we get the better of them, but the only
Obviously,
matchup.
but what's the real? We're not going to get the better of every single one. Let's be real.
The only matchup I'm really concerned with, honestly, is us versus their run game. Last season, like you said, we were the number 2 run defense in the NFL, and they gashed us. Ray Davis, James Cook, like they had some lanes where it was a couple times James Cook just freaked some people out their shoes. So for me, we need to get that together, especially with our defensive line not being possibly as strong as it was last year, not having the depth that we had. So for me, being able to stop the run, stop Josh Allen, because he killed us as well. Like I said, I watched this game like 6 times in the last 3 days trying to get this video done, but they all killed us in the run game. The pass game, Josh Allen's going to get his to an extent. And with his receivers, because Keon Coleman's coming off an injury as well. So both of your starting wide receivers are limping around, so to speak. Joshua Palmer, I like Joshua Palmer. I really like him.
Yeah.
Don't know what his chemistry is like with Josh, but I just think with the air game, we have first round picks throughout our secondary. So I think that we can contain him enough, but I just want to see if we can stop them in the run game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super interested to see what the plan is, right? Because anytime we go up against the quality run defense, I'm not sure if it's an ego thing from Joe Brady, but he's like, okay, yeah, we're going to run the football. It does help that we're returning all of our offensive line starters, top unit rate in the league last year. Spencer Brown, right tackle, for some reason struggles against Van Noy. I would say Spencer Brown's a top 5 right tackle in this league, but for some reason Van Noy just gets the best of him. So that could be an X factor, I think, that I would like to worry about. But again, it's nice because for both of our teams' perspectives, we have a quarterback that can operate, regardless of how good your offensive line is, regardless. But that's
I have a question. I'm sorry. And then let me get to the super chat first. Maisha, thank you for being here. And thank you for the $10 super chat. She says, hello, Yolanda and Hendo, and to Dan, just passing through. Great show. And she's telling you, Dan, you got to hear her. She said, let's go Ravens. Thank you for the thank you for the donation. Listen, Dan, I have a serious question. I promise I'm not trying to be crass. Is Josh Allen going to return to his previous ways in terms of throwing interceptions? Last year was just, to me, let me let you answer first, and then I'll go, because you are the guest. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell me about Josh Allen this year.
So I'll tell you what. So I think a lot of Josh Allen's interceptions for the past couple of seasons had to do with who the offensive play caller was. I do believe, I'm not buying into this conspiracy theory that Diggs was demanding the football, at least not that much. But I do think that there was something in Josh's mind a couple of years back where he's like, okay, I need to feed Diggs because that's our only option. Soon as when we ended up transitioning over to this new offensive coordinator where he's just like, all right, man, let's finally have a well-balanced attack. Don't feel like you need to prioritize anybody. And you saw it, right? So many different games where you saw a different name that many people who don't follow the Buffalo Bills wouldn't even recognize leading in receiving yards. I feel the way that the offensive coordinators have switched, and now that we have Joe Brady, I think that within the system, it's exactly why Josh has been able to sort of scale back on his turnovers, and why I think we're going to be seeing much of the same so with this year as well.
Fair enough. Hendo, do you agree with Dan? Or do you think something otherwise as it relates to Josh Allen and interceptions this year?
Oh, I mean, I've always said it. It's been Joe Brady and them running the ball more. Like he said, having a balanced attack and just him spreading the ball around. But I do think that he's just gotten better as a passer. Also, he had a lot of drop picks last year. So it's a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
When you got quarterbacks that have strong arms, they think they can make every throw.
I needed it. I'm not sure if you guys ever tap in with the AFC East roundtable, but I do a show with a Dolphins fan, a Jets fan, and a Patriots fan.
Mm-hmm.
And our Dolphins contributor was giving me hell about Josh Allen's picks for years. So you best believe when he only threw 6 last year, I was running victory laps.
Oh, I know you were. I know TD. He just, poor thing.
He drives me
I
nuts.
gotta get him on the show too. I gotta reach out to him, get him on the show because we do play the Dolphins this year, so that'll be a fun one if he's available. But I'm gonna tell you my thoughts about it. Sorry, Josh Allen's just gonna return to. He might not be as bad as many picks as he was throwing 3 seasons ago, but it's certainly how many did he have last year? 6.
6.
It's going to be a little bit higher than that, and it starts week 1. I'm going to call it now. Malachi Starks, do you think?
Oh,
I mean, go ahead. Nate Wiggins, Malachi. I mean, Marlon did his thing last year in interceptions for us. But, hey, if he wants to go out there and feast on an interception too, I have no problem with that. Last question for Dan before we let him go. Score prediction. Who's winning this game? Who you got? Realistically, who do you have winning this game?
Yeah. So like I said, say that Ricard and say that likely we're out there. I really think that completely makes Baltimore have to revert to something that they're not too comfortable with. And I think that there's going to be some growing pains. I think it's going to sort of be the cause of a slow start. For that reason alone, I have the Buffalo Bills winning 24-20. And my hot take is that your rookie kicker misses 2 field goals.
Ooh, we didn't even talk about Loop. Oh, I did.
Stop. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Hot take. And listen, I'm so sorry to say that does come true because, my God, I would punch a hole through my drywall if that was the case. But, hey, listen, we have a 41-year-old kicker hanging out with
I was just about to
say, isn't your kicker on injured reserve?
Yeah.
I mean, he made IR today? I saw that. I think I saw that, right?
Yeah. We have Matt Prater. He's 41 years old. As long as he doesn't pull a hamstring in his sleep, we'll be okay.
Terrible. Hendo. Okay, and let us know in the chat who's winning this game and give us your score prediction. Hendo, who's winning?
Ravens 41-10.
Oh man!
Wait, come on now. Okay, I said the same thing to Dan. I said let's be serious here. I said let's be serious. I know we.
All right. So no, listen. So if last year I would have told you the Ravens would have beat the Bills 35-10, y'all would have laughed at me, right?
No. Yeah. I mean 35. Well, okay.
And I'm not saying you, but I'm saying Bills fans are like, nah, exactly. And what happened? And this year our team's even better.
Okay, so are you sticking? You're sticking to 40. You're sticking.
41-10.
All right, 41-10. Let us know really quickly in the chat who is winning. Who's winning this game? My prediction: Ravens are taking this one. Josh Allen is going to throw at least 1 pick. 2 would be lovely, but definitely 1. I told you I think Malachi Starks might come out there and grab a pick. I don't know if it could be Nate Wiggins. He owes us one from last year, a couple of them. So there you go. But score prediction, I'm going to go with, I don't know. If Hendo said 41, I don't know if we're going to do 41. Maybe 34-21, 34-24. 34-24 Ravens.
All right.
34-24 Ravens.
I like that one better.
Yeah, 34. Right. Yeah, that's it. Well, Dan, it has been great having you on. Thank you for joining our show. We appreciate you. And please let everyone know where they can find you and what you got going on here in social media streets.
Yeah, guys, for sure. Y'all can find me at any social media platform at Real Dan Mitchell. It's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, the whole 9. And then I'll be doing a live play-by-play reaction to the game on Sunday evening. So say, for example, some Ravens fans, if y'all start pulling ahead and you want to see me beating the hell out of my buddy back here, Bob, at any given point, feel free to do so. I will be there. And so the best of luck. One thing I can say is that I really don't think that this is a measuring stick for either team. I do think that this is going to be one of 2 matchups within this football season, if you know what I'm saying. So, most definitely. I'm just looking forward to some good football Sunday night. And so the NFL knows exactly what they're doing. and by putting Buffalo and Ravens on Sunday night.
Yes,
Absolutely.
indeed. And listen,
Absolutely.
shout out to Tanja. She said, "I like this Dan."
She
Listen,
does.
this is the normal Dan that you get, because even last season, like he said in the reaction stream, during the game, he was hooping and hollering, but the real Dan came out after they lost, and he was just sitting there like, "Guys, this team is real. I got to give him credit." Like, the real Dan came out, quote unquote. So
Yeah. Like, one thing I always like to like explain to people is that I do play a character
yeah,
online. So like
Right.
normally, like when I'm on like shows with like my friends from other fan bases, I'm pretty
chill.
I'm normal. Yeah. So
Absolutely. Dan
Listen,
has been a great guest.
I need a favor from you, Dan.
sure.
I need you to tell all your Buffalo Bills fans that they
Okay.
need to thank the Baltimore Ravens, because without us, Josh Allen might not be Josh Allen, because Nathan Peterman looked so bad in that game, they had to insert Josh Allen. So you need to be thanking us that we got him in that game.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that, man.
Appreciate it.
Dude, sometimes I go on ahead and like I like go back and scroll back on Twitter, and like when Buffalo released like a hype video when they announced that Nate Peterman was the starting quarterback, that's a horror movie to me. But yeah, thank you so much for embarrassing Nathan Peterman and letting our starter, like move forward. Guys,
Yeah.
best of luck. I appreciate
Thank
you having me
you.
on.
Take care,
Appreciate you.
Dan, and
Thank
we
you
will
so
be in
much.
touch. All righty.
See you.
Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Family, we appreciate our guest, Dan, for joining us tonight. See, that's what I'm saying. I know some of you were like, no, don't bring Dan. Dan's all right. Dan is all right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Make sure that you go over the links to Dan's YouTube channel are in the description box below. Make sure you go over, follow him, subscribe to his channel. Listen, he has some outlandish takes sometimes, but
Really outlandish.
but still just, he roots for his team. You can't fault him for that. Now he's not on the side of right when he's going up against the Baltimore Ravens most of the time, but we appreciate him. We do have a super chat coming through. This is from the Nigerian Nightmare, $1.99. Thank you for the $2 donation. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes, Carl. He said, I was really late. It's over. Don't worry. If you are just now tuning in, watch the replay. I wanted to be respectful. There is football on, and I wanted Dan to, go out and enjoy the football game. Listen, we all need to watch the Chiefs games ourselves. We play them in how many weeks, Hendo? Exactly. 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah, I know. So, family, we appreciate you. Thank you all so much for coming out, hanging out with us. More of these types of streams to come. We've got some guests lined up for you that, like I said.
3 more guests.
No, we're going to do more than 3 because it's fun to have.
It is.
You get to see a side of them, other YouTube content creators. You get to see a side of them that, you might not see on their personal channel because obviously they gotta be a little outrageous for their team. But when they come over here, they kind of, tell you the real deal. So not 3, right, Hendo? More than that, right?
4. That's more than 3.
Listen, we got to try and find somebody from the Chiefs. We got to find a Chiefs YouTuber. We got to find a Chiefs YouTuber.
We already have somebody in mind for the Browns.
We have somebody in mind for the Browns.
Somebody in mind for Detroit.
Definitely.
That's the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
And then we can find a Chiefs guy.
We got to do the Bengals because I think.
Oh, and Really Flawed says she would be down to do the Steelers.
There you go. So then we have about 6 more collabs coming your way. Look,
it just takes away Cleveland.
Anyway, family, thank you all so much for joining. I hear that Hollywood is out there dropping passes. What? Let me go watch this game. Let me go find out and see what Hollywood Brown is doing. We appreciate you. We will see you all very soon. Don't forget to hit the like button for us. Subscribe if you are new. There you go. Join the family, and we will see you all very soon. Don't forget, go ahead and, show some Ravens love over there at Dan's channel. Subscribe to his channel.
Oh, the Packers.
Oh, what? Wait, I missed it.
Yeah, it's just saying bringing a Packers guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, no doubt.
We do,
no
Maisha.
Doubt.
Thank you for that.
All right, so then that takes away Detroit.
You're right,
So
Maisha. That's a good one. So Hendo and I talked about the Packers, and we forgot about them. So that's 7.
I don't know them,
7.
but I know he had some outrageous takes, especially for a team that's never won a Super Bowl.
No, I don't know about them. I got to pray over these people. I got to see. Listen, make sure you come by Sunday night. Hendo and I will live stream the game. Come out and hang out with us. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a blast. And then after the show, immediately after, we're going to do our post-game recap.
All
We're
in.
calling out Dan Mitchell. Some of the things that he has said, he said, listen, Isaiah Likely and Pat Ricard were going to be the reason that this whole offense is not what it is. Just
Said that record.
he did say Pat Ricard. Pat Ricard. Anyway, family, we will see you all
Hey.
very soon.
Don't forget tomorrow. Tap in tomorrow. I think I figured out what was wrong with the video and why YouTube just kept flagging it. So the video on the Bills and Ravens should be done tomorrow morning. I'm gonna stay up all night to get it finished. Make sure you come back to the channel to watch this video. It's the best video I've ever done. That's not saying that it's great, but it's the best video I've ever done. So make sure to tap in.
Okay, you heard it here. Hendo previewed a video that he was working on a couple of streams ago, and it was just jaw-dropping. The preview was jaw-dropping, and everyone who was in the chat was like, "Oh my gosh, where's that video?" So he's finally releasing it in the morning. Make sure you come through. But yeah, having Tom Grassi, we'll certainly reach out to try and get people on the show to see who's available, and but make sure you stay tuned with us, and we will see you all very soon. Good night, family. And remember,